Wonder Woman issue 8, which is written by Greg Rucka and art by, oh boy, uh, Bilquis?
Sure.
Bilquis? Oh yeah, Bilquis Evely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I apologise to this artist if I have butchered your name, I really do. But my English speaking brain cannot comprehend those words. So let's talk about this. So this was the Cheetah issue. I shouldn't say Cheetah. I should not say Cheetah because she's not Cheetah yet.
No.
It's Barbara Ann Minerva.
Yes.
And it's all about her growing up. Well, partly growing up and believing in all these myths and her father being this awful person that's like, no time for fantasy. Which, by the way, that entire opening felt so much like Lazarus.
Yes, it did. That was Malcolm Carlyle.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really was.
Oh, so the fact that Rucka can put this issue together based off of Nicola Scott needing to take time shows me all I need to know about him as a writer is that he has so many of these layered ideas that he can pull Barbara Ann's story
That's
and
it.
make an issue about it.
That's like the real thing because it's this idea that he has to compromise because he couldn't do what he wanted.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's got to work around it and be creative.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can just pull this out and still make a fantastic issue on such relatively short notice is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great issue. The art's very good as well. In fact, this is actually the artist that's replacing Nicola Scott in Wonder Woman when she leaves.
Yeah.
So for the even numbered issues, I had to think about which set it was. For the even numbered issues, this will be the new artist after issue 8. No, it'll be further along than that.
No, because it's going on longer now. Yeah.
Yeah, January or February, whenever that changes.
So it'll be like 12 or 14 when she takes over.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be 6 of each, right? So it would have finished at 12, but now it would have. Now there's the extra one. It'll finish at 14, so she'll start on 16.
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah, it's around that area. So if we're off by a number or two, forgive us. But
and who knows if there's going to be more delays and we get more of the story as it goes. I'm kind of for that if that's the case because I loved this issue.
But I loved it too. But the point I was going to make is I'm happy this is the artist that's replacing her because as much as I love Nicola Scott, this looked gorgeous. Everything, I could have had a whole issue of like because a lot of the middle of this issue is Barbara Ann with like a sort of a dig site with like a bunch of guys and they're basically doing like the Mummy kind of thing where they're looking for tombs and whatnot. And I could have had an issue of this with them just bantering and her like fighting them on what's real and what's not, and she believes that the Amazons existed and she's looking for evidence and they think it's a fairy tale. No, I really like this, and I thought all of that stuff with the lightning and the rain and there was so much atmosphere in this setting which was barely set up. Just cut to it and she's at a dig site, but there's so much like in those pages that are just telling me everything about the location that.
Well, yeah, and the fact that she's arguing over the basically patriarchal history of the Greeks, and of course, the Amazons represented a threat to their society. They're gonna bury any mention if they were real or not.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, whatever. We show me proof of Amazons, and I'll,
Yeah.
And she finds the proof, and it also went back to. It was in the last issue, the last regular issue that. The gods have to allow you to see these things.
Yeah.
And so I think Athena shows up with the owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see
as the old woman.
The old woman turns out to be one of the gods. I wouldn't have been able to name which one it was, so good job, Matt.
Yeah. But
Athena's definitely the owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, again goes back to the Amazons that was earlier.
Yeah.
In the news.
Again, it's this idea that she has to, you have to be let into Themyscira, you have to be allowed to go there, and you have to be shown the way. And just to go back to the art a bit, see when she's in the caves and she's like going around with a flashlight, and the image comes out. I mean, I just want to point out the colouring here. Again, it's really simple. It's a lot like what we talked about with Green Arrow, but in a much more muted sense. When she's in the caves, all the backgrounds have got a sort of light, sort of dark, muted green feel to them. So her orange jacket and her orange hair, yeah, she's a ginger.
Pop out.
Yeah, really pops out. And it's the same, even when she comes outside, it goes from having muted greens in the background to muted blues because it's nighttime. So
I was going to say how this also ties into the present day story. These greens feel very similar to the jungle that we're getting.
And she's in orange, like she has as Cheetah.
Yeah, and also we were just talking about the gods have to let you there. It's also playing into Diana's stuff in the present day stuff of how she's not allowed there.
Oh, well, it plays both to the present day stuff and the backstory, because we've seen her get her powers from the gods.
Yeah, so it's really tied. This issue tied everything there.
Yeah, before the owl, I meant to say that the mouse shows up and kind of shows Barbara Ann into the temple complex before it crumbles. Just like, wasn't there a mouse that showed up to give Diana her powers?
Yeah,
maybe right.
Yeah. So whoever the symbol of the mouse is, that's
basically any animal in this comic is probably important.
Yeah.
Although,
and so
now that we figured that out, though, Rucka's going to start putting in random animals just to mess with our heads.
Oh, as well he should.
What was that kangaroo? There was a kangaroo in issue 24, and I want to know what it was, Rucka.
That's when he expands from the Greek gods. It's like
to the Australian gods.
Yeah, why not?
but yeah, and just the whole. I mean, like Pete said, the archaeology thing. Like, I'm biased because I love Indiana Jones and pulp style stuff, like The Mummy and all that. And so the fact that, like, the first couple pages were people sitting around talking and arguing history, like, you don't get that in superhero comics.
I also love the page, where she's off on the adventure trying to find it, and it's like just a flash from location. So there's like a map and like star charts all across the page. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yes. So I brought it up in our group talking about this. Like, if they want to do like a Dead Man, like that Manor book that's out right now, that's out like every other month.
Yeah.
If they want to do that style of book with Rucka and Evely, I'd be more than down. Like, I'd pay $6 for that. So.
No, I agree. This was a really good issue. Obviously, we should talk about the ending, because she does get to what appears to be Themyscira, but it's empty. There's no one there.
I took that as that was ancestral Themyscira.
Okay, yeah.
That's where they left before they went to the island.
No, you may be right, because she's very confused throughout the issue if she's looking for where they came from or where they went.
Yeah.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense that she thinks she's found it. Although the tree at the end, when she leaves,
Is there too?
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same tree that Diana got bit by the snake, right? I'm not just imagining that.
I was wondering if it's maybe something to do with
kind
the
of
gods.
tree.
The gods let us see the island, but not the Amazons. Like she's,
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I kind of took it as, because I felt like, okay, she's found it because that tree's there, and that was the tree where Diana get bit in like issue 2 or 4, whatever it was, but for whatever reason she's not worthy enough to see them. I don't know if she's not proven herself yet. It's like a Thor thing where she has to be worthy. I don't know.
Maybe she has to prove that she can survive on the island on her own to be worthy to be part of that society.
Well, she can pull out her George Foreman grill and get cooking and prove that she's capable. By the way, if I have any complaints, and this is so minor, right? This is like so minor, it's almost not worth mentioning. But when she's in the caves, she does pull out a smartphone to take photos. And I felt like if this is set, so far in the past, like theoretically,
not that far in the past, is it?
Well, okay, I suppose.
Well, it's before. So it has to be before she broke her leg.
Yeah.
Because she's not walking with the cane. And by that point, she's out of field work. So this is working as a professor.
This is maybe 7 to 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. So even if she has a smartphone, it's not.
Okay, sure. Admittedly, if you account for all the New 52 shortening things up shenanigans, sure. But I feel like it's been such a long time since she was a human. Never mind.
Well, we know year 1 and the present day story are 5 years apart, right? Or something like that.
Well, not the 6 years now, because technically
6 years, right? So this has to be a couple of years before that, yeah.
Yeah. Because again, she's teaching when they. Well, because they're teaching when they bring her in.
Yeah.
Right, because there's even that not a flashback, but she says how the language is formatted.
Mm.
And like that was the first thing she said when she met Diana. And so I mean, if it's 10 to 12 years ago, it's still that's
honestly,
not a smartphone. But whatever.
Honestly, you're discussing numbers. I don't really care about numbers. It just feels wrong that that's part of it. Like, so far in the past, they have, because in my head, just being used to DC mythology, this is just a long time ago, and this is way pre-smartphones. But even 8 years ago, that's like what, the year the iPhone came out, the first one.
Yeah, but that was smartphones before the iPhone.
Yeah, they weren't popular though.
But not that looked like an iPhone, Connor.
Yeah.
This was specifically looked like an iPhone.
Did it?
Well, like I say,
I didn't pay attention enough to that.
Like I say, it is a tiny, minor complaint. It doesn't affect anything. It's just something that
It was a
occurred
Galaxy
to me.
S7. She could have used it as a grenade.
It's a nice roaring fire for it to warm my hands on.
No, that'll come handy in the island. Oh, I can't start a fire.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh.